as he would like.
I think I'm going to shut up through that corner so we can get all the audio of it. It sounds so good through there. So, twin-cylinder Ducati versus four-cylinder Kawasaki heading up towards Coppice. We can take a look now at the passing manoeuvre from on board the Kawasaki. Mackenzie will appear to our right at Redgate corner. He's gone under Plater. Plater gets on the gas a little bit earlier, but the road is full of Mackenzie and Ducati. No way to get back just yet.
Yeah, Plater was immediately on the case there, trying to find his way up the inside into Hollywood and down into Grainer, but not to any avail.
Now, Neil Mackenzie, once he's cleared his track, he seems to be settling down a little bit more now on the Duke, pulling away a little bit from Plater. Meanwhile, Francis Williamson getting plenty of airtime here on TV. He's about to be swamped by number 7, Neil Mackenzie. 22, Steve Plater, maybe taking his time to get a bit of a breather there. Up the inside at Goddard's for Neil. Well, that surprised me, and I think that says everything, doesn't it? Well, I think he eventually goes through it, but Neil Mackenzie would have cut Williamson in half just a year ago.
Yeah, I think he's just taking time to get used to the bike. He's looking more comfortable than he did at the beginning of the season. And we all know Neil Mackenzie, he's a battler. So I think before the end of the season, we'll see him winning races again. Yeah, he really, I mean, that is a general consensus around the riders of the paddock as well. They all believe that he will be doing that. Hayden has caught Walker in 3rd place. Here it is. This is the battle for 3rd for McLean and James Hayden. Well, do you see how badly the bumps affected the bikes there? You can see the front end vibrating as you try and stuff it into the corner, and then the back end protests as it comes across the bump as well.
This is an interesting fight as well. Remember, it was Hayden that was on that bike that Walker is riding at the moment last year. So Hayden ran the Suzuki last year, and this year he's running the twin-cylinder Ducati. And unlike Mackenzie, Hayden has got on with it absolutely superbly, almost from the moment he cocked his leg over it. Still it is John Reynolds that leads from Neil Hodgson in 2nd place. 3rd place, there are your leaders. 3 Reynolds, 4 Hodgson. Oh, John, mistake there, boy.
Yeah, he's still obviously having to try real hard to keep ahead of these other guys.
It looked like the thing fell over in the turn there, or did he bang his knee in the curb?
Maybe he lost a bit of his rhythm because of the back marker. There seems to be a lot of back markers in this race.
Well, it's only a 50-mile dash, really. 19 laps overall, 35 coming into view. That is Dave Redgate from Orpington in Kent. There is Joe. That's James Hayden's girlfriend. So, John Reynolds, wife Shelley, watching from pit lane. Out of Redgate, onto Hollywood. Down towards Craner Curves. Closing stages then of this race with less than 3 laps to go now. It is Reynolds in control from Hodgson in 2nd place. Neil Hodgson will be annoyed that he hasn't been able to get more into this race with Reynolds, although 2nd place isn't bad. Blue flags being waved frantically. There is Chris Walker still in 3rd place. Hayden looks to have dropped off the back of it.
Yeah, maybe Hayden must have made a mistake to the Melbourne Loop area because he was right with Walker the last lap into this turn, and now he's come way back.
Oh, dear me. Well, it's like watching a demolition derby when you watch Chris Walker. He bangs his knee on the floor, the bike hits the curb, it's sideways on. Flames from the exhaust, I don't know. Out of Coppice, onto the back straight, up through the gearbox then, under the Dunlop Bridge. Oh, and there's a crash down at the S's. Oh, Walker's bike's gone bang. There's a crash down at the S's because I saw the marshals running, but Walker's bike has exploded.
Well, the engine's still running. It's still running. So.
Yeah, but through holes in the piston. Yeah, take a look at that, Chris. So the bike has gone bang.
I wonder if he's laying any oil on the track.
It looks like it's all coming out of the exhaust to me, Scott, I've got to say. Well, it might be. If it was, it would have had him off by now. So there's nothing on his tyre, but he's going to take a look at it. That is at the back of pit lane.
Oh, with only 2 or 3 laps to go.
Yeah, disaster. 2.5, well, less than that. 2 laps to go, just. He's going to ride it right the way around the pit lane on the grass. So Walker then laying a smoke screen. Let's take a look at it here. It exploded down the back straight.
You can see it's just as he starts to go bang back down through the gears on the brakes into the S's. So he just revved it a little bit too hard.
Very unusual. Oil on the track. So there is oil on the track. Whether that had anything to do with Chris Walker,
probably just a precaution anyway.
You're probably right. That's I'll tell you what, Hodgson was getting the front end all crossed up there as well. This is Hayden.
Well,
Hayden gets 3rd then. Shifted indeed, but Reve Red Bull will take that. Roger Marshall, their team manager, is going to be extremely happy indeed.
Hodgson looked real committed to the old hairpin. Has he managed to make any ground into Reynolds? I think he has.
You are not wrong there, Scott, as in comes Walker. What a disappointment then for the National Tyre Suzuki team. Walker straight in the garage, and I bet that door's going to come down in a hurry. Oh, Claire's there. Is she going to get a word with him? Doesn't look like it. No, he turns his back on her. Well, that's unusual. Not happy indeed. Look at this, though.
Yeah, Hodgson is caught up Reynolds, so he's certainly pretty committed in these last couple of laps. He's got, what, 1.5 laps to try and get past?
Less than that. We're down at the Melbourne Loop already. It's a lap and a turn, basically. Melbourne we are at. Reynolds, bike number 3. The Reve Red Bull Ducati leads us sideways on the INS Ducati there. So these two hammer and tong now. We are in for a last lap shootout, Scott.
Yeah, he can smell it. You can see how hard he's trying now. So he's desperate to get that win.
Well, Reynolds won at Brands Hatch race 1. Is he going to manage to do it here as well? A whole load of back markers.
Yeah,
this is going to be really, really tricky indeed to try and get past. 19 there, Dean Ellison.
Well, we've seen Reynolds use the back markers to his advantage here and at Brands so far, so I should imagine this will end up working to his advantage.
He's really going to get him where he don't want him, though, isn't he? All the way down through Craners and onto the old hairpin.
And he can't decide which way to go around him.
It's a difficult one there. He's got to go round the outside of him, or has he? Oh, dear me, that's given Hodgson plenty of time. Hodgson will be there as well. Oh, yes, he is. So, the back
Hodgson
marker.
running wide on the exit there to the old hairpin because he didn't have enough room. He got squeezed by the back markers, so he's lost drive up the hill.
He could have used Ellison as a berm, of course, and just bounced straight off the side of him, but Hodgson is a gentleman sometimes. He might not be on the last lap of this one, though. Through McLean, up towards Coppice.
Yeah, Hodgson doesn't look like he's quite close enough to be in the slipstream of Reynolds onto the back straight.
Onto the back straight, they power up through the gearbox now, squeezing the power. It's very windy here as well. It's been carrying the bike
Hodgson
out
out of the seat there. You can see how hard he was trying.
He really was trying to get on it very early. That's about blown it for Neil Hodgson then, unless, of course, number 77, Brett Sampson from Plymouth just gets in the way. And, of course, a couple of back markers could make all the difference. Oh, well, this one out, John. You've got to pick it dead right.
They're having their own battle as well, so they won't be paying too much attention to the blue flag.
At the Melbourne Loop for the last time, Reynolds right down the inside. He's just got to turn it nice now. Hodgson, well, unfortunately, has got two back markers in his sights, but I think that Hodgson realises that Reynolds has got this covered. Reynolds gets the power down nicely up to the last corner on the track, the end of the 19th lap. John Reynolds, just like he did at Brands Hatch, is about to take the first race win of the day. A wheelie over the line from Nottingham's hero. Second place goes to Neil Hodgson, and third will be the other Reve Red Bull Ducati of James Hayden. What a great ride there from Reynolds. Reynolds does it absolutely all right. He was gifted the lead, and once he got in the front, he just couldn't be headed. Superb. 2 wins then from 3 races so far for John Reynolds. He's looking good for the championship. Neil Hodgson, the new aggressive Neil Hodgson, is there in second place. James Hayden third. Neil Mackenzie fourth. Steve Plater fifth. Sean Emmett sixth. Goddard and Toseland round out the top 8. And so after 3 races, this is how the British Superbike Championship looks. Reynolds now has a massive, by anybody's standards at this class, 11-point lead over James Hayden, his teammate in the Reve Red Bull Ducati. Celebrations all round for them so far. Hodgson is there in third, Hislop fourth, Walker in fifth place. His teammate John Crawford is there in sixth. Neil Mackenzie is seventh and Sean Emmett eighth. Claire is in pit lane with Mr. John Reynolds.
What a brilliant, dramatic race there.
Yeah, it's hard work, Claire. I said before, you know, this is a hard circuit to race on, and just to keep plugging away and doing consistently quick times is not easy. It's so windy out there as well. I was being covered for the first 4 laps by the 2 guys in front with the wind and that, but I hit the front and it just knocked me for 6. I was all over the track for a couple of laps, so I got my head into gear and managed to dig in then.
Are you happy with the tyres out there?
Yeah, you know, we're all on the same tyres, so we're all sliding around, and it's a bit of fun, really. You can see, you know, I'm stronger than John in places, and he was stronger than me. It's the way it goes. Try and get him in the next race. You know, I'm gonna have a sleep now, come back with my batteries charged, and hopefully I can do it.
I had a big moment on the 2nd or 3rd lap, and it dropped me down. I had to work really hard to try and get back up with them, and then it just didn't. I couldn't quite sort of make the gap, and then I caught back up, and then Walker's one blew in front of me, and he just went. I couldn't see anything. It was just smoke, and I thought he's going to be off. So I just had to hit the brakes, go through it. Came out the other side, and he was there. So I tried to get next to him and just sort of try and like you know, slow him down. I was just worried for him, but you know, we've got third, and it's points that count. So you know, I'm really happy. The team worked really hard. You know, Dunlop, everyone. So it can't be bad.
John Reynolds can take a short breather. He'll be back for race 2 later. Next, it's the turn of the Supersports.